Okay. It is August 13th, and it is 3:44 p.m. And I'm Joanna Daniels, the chair of the Library Board, Sumner County Library Board. So I'm going to call this meeting to order. First of all, we're going to do a roll call.
Mike Brown.
Erica Grammer. Tracy Parker.
Larry Hinton.
Shannon Gardner. Paul Cole. Pam Dunn. Stephen Mayer.
Wonderful. So we have a full board, we have a quorum, and so we will proceed. And, okay, and approval of the agenda. Call for a motion to approve the agenda. Oh, sorry, invocation, you're right. Sorry, I just rolled right over that. All right, so we'll go ahead and bow our heads, and we're going to pray. Heavenly Father, amazing Almighty God, Adonai, Elohim, Yahweh, we just come before you right now. We want to give you all the glory and praise today. Lord, you are deserving of praise no matter what is happening in our lives. Lord, we want to thank you for our country that was founded on your principles, a country that is about freedom. And Lord, it is based on what you see as truth, Lord God. Lord, we thank you so much. Lord, we ask forgiveness. Ask forgiveness, Lord, for things that we have done that goes against what you have called us to do. We ask forgiveness, Lord, for anything that has been done by our government officials or anything that goes against the foundation, which is founded on your principles. Lord, we ask that you be here tonight with us. Lord, we ask that you take control of our heart, our mind, our words, our everything. And Lord, we thank you. We thank you for the opportunity to serve. Lord, all seats of authority come from you. And so, Lord, if we are in the seat of authority, then we come under you. And so, Lord, we just thank you. And we ask that everything that we've done tonight, Lord God, glorify you. And if not, for it to be shown and for the truth to come out. We pray for us to be a light in the darkness. And we just thank you so much, Lord. And Lord, please help those who come against you. We pray this in the name of Yeshua, Jesus. Amen. All right. Now, approval of the agenda. So moved by Mike. Do I have a second?
One question. We need to add an item to the agenda. It's Westmoreland sent the library directors a request for a fundraiser approval, and that was, what, a month ago? I have it here. We would all like to see it.
You mean the Friends? The Friends sent us?
The Friends group, yes, yeah. They sent this, when did they send it? Looks like they sent it in July 15th. So it was a month ago. We want it to be, we should put that on the agenda. Yes? It's a fundraiser,
And
annual fall fundraiser that happens, I believe, where is it? Anybody in Westmoreland, can you tell me when this fundraiser happens?
Well, if it's not on the application, then it's obviously not filled out correctly. So,
It's late September, early October.
okay, well,
That's when
if
it right there.
it doesn't have a specific date, and if
It's
it's,
a silent auction, so it's just a Facebook fundraiser? Okay.
well,
Phyllis couldn't stay here. She got a baby.
It's just on Facebook.
okay, well, it looks like we're gonna need some more information, because if the application doesn't have all the.
Well, it's completely filled out. They sent It says late September, early October. I think they're planning that, but
But it's all filled out.
Okay. Well, late September, early October. And
but if should we add it to the agenda and everybody have a chance to read this at the break maybe?
well, is everybody prepared for this?
I don't know. I'm happy to hand this around. People like it. Just a motion. You got it, a motion to add.
It came from Phyllis.
Okay.
I'll second that.
So add Westmoreland fundraiser to the agenda. Is it a Friends or is it from Phyllis?
It's from the Friends of Westmoreland Public
Phyllis
Library.
sent us the email, but the paperwork was filled out by the friends.
There's a point of contact on here. It looks like it's filled out perfectly. I don't see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amy Eller filled it out.
So I have by Paul and I have a second by Shannon. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Then I will make a motion to approve the agenda as amended. I don't need a motion, sorry, I can't make a motion. Sorry, Mike, will you make a motion? Okay. All right. Do I have a second? What, Pam? Was that you? Okay. All in favor say aye. Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, wonderful. Approval of the minutes from July 9th, 2025.
Motion.
Motion by Shannon,
Second.
second by Mike. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. All right. And now we're going to do recognition of public, and we are on a time crunch. So again, we're going to do 2 minutes per person. When you come up, please state your name, your address, and I'm going to have a timer. And once you hear that timer, I ask that you conclude so that we can be sure to give everybody their 2 minutes. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, so we have John Elston.
Ready to start?
Give me 1 second, let me get you started here. Okay, go right ahead.
Hi, my name is John Elston. I live at Kennesaw Farms. I'm here to speak on the issue regarding the board's proposal for a transgender and gender confusing materials. Very simply, it appears that the board is essentially wanting to ban any materials for not only minors but also for persons over 18, which condone essentially their ability to live, that is materials which condone their ability to live as or purported identity inconsistent with the sex at birth as defined in the TCA. So let's look at the TCA real quickly. Obviously the sex is basically the sex they were assigned at birth, right? The larger provision of the TCA is really under the human rights section. It's 101. The human rights section says it's the purpose of the General Assembly to safeguard all individuals within the state from discrimination because of race, blah, 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 sex, in connection with employment, public accommodations, housing, and to protect their interest in personal dignity and freedom from humiliation. So that's the context of the reference to the TCA. So as I look at it, it appears to me by invoking the TCA, the board appears to be wanting to safeguard, we'll say male, safeguard individuals, and let's just say a male, safeguard a male from discrimination because of their sex that is being born as a male, okay? And that they will not then be able to have materials which would allow them to live as a, we'll say a transgender person. In other words, we are essentially discriminating against males because they're males. So it just makes no sense to me that what we're saying is we're invoking the law to prevent discrimination when what we're really doing is discriminating specifically. Essentially, the board is making this prejudicial judgment, and prejudicial judgment is basically an unfair or biased treatment of an individual or groups based on characteristics such as sex, based on their beliefs, okay, that it can cause
Thank you,
preferential
sir.
treatment.
Thank you. Jesse McKinney.
Hi, I'm Jessie McKinney and I live in Hendersonville. I've spoken to you many times about this policy and back again to talk about the collections policy, specifically the section that is targeting transgender information. And there are two specific types of materials that are called out in this policy. One is sexually explicit materials, and the basis for removing those from the library is to protect children. And there is Tennessee law that backs the removal of that material from children. The second type of information that is specifically banned or called out in this policy is information about transgender people and living as a transgender person. There is no state law that specifically supports the removal of this material from a library. There's no state law that requires the removal of this material. There's no state law against the purchasing of material that has information about transgender people and shelving it in the library. So what you are doing is discriminating against that information, and you're discriminating against transgender people, and they don't have the ability to read books that accurately reflect their identity. You're also prohibiting other people from learning about transgender individuals, perhaps developing empathy and understanding for people who live differently than they do. So this is a discriminatory policy. Because of these concerns, I am very worried that the Sumner County Library Board and Sumner County as a whole will be sued. There are civil rights organizations and attorneys that have already reached out to me that are watching what you do tonight, and they are ready to pursue legal action. You can look at Rutherford County and what the ACLU has done, as well as several national anti-censorship organizations that have sent legal letters to the Rutherford County Library Board when they attempted similar policy. I don't want our tax dollars to be spent defending a lengthy and costly lawsuit, and for what? For something that is not required by law. I would like our board to focus on the ability to hire qualified candidates, and I would like our county tax dollars to go for things that will benefit us.
All right, Lindsay Doss.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lindsay Doss. My address is 204 Lacey Court in Portland. I'm essentially going to say the exact same thing I said last time because we are in a Groundhog Day situation where we're voting for the same thing over and over again. So I do want to call out again just the irony of praying before a meeting where you are purposely wanting to exclude an entire population of people. That's not Christian. That is completely unchristian. So again, what this boils down to is control. When you control what people can read, you control what people can think, then you can control the people. I do want to say I appreciate those of you who voted against this discriminatory and hateful policy last time. I know you're probably facing a lot of pressure to maybe change your vote. I really hope that you don't. So again, education is freedom. Reading what you want is freedom. There's a reason it was illegal for enslaved people to learn how to read and write. There's a reason the Nazis burned books. There's a reason the current administration is scrubbing websites of anything called DEI, meaning anything that is not about or by a person who's not white, straight, and male. There's a reason they're going through the Smithsonian and they're, they are reviewing history, that's what fascists do, okay? So that's what this policy is. So again, you don't have to burn books in this modern era. You just have to write them out of your bylaws and you just scrub them from your website. So all of this is in the name of protecting children. I want to see this same energy fighting gun violence. That's the number one killer of children. I want to see this same energy energy in advocating for DCS to be looked into. There are kids sleeping on floors. Show this same energy to protect all children.
Hilton.
Sarah Hilton, 1259 Peyton Lane, Gallatin. I'm reading this from an anonymous writer who didn't feel comfortable sharing their words tonight. Public libraries exist to serve every member of the community by providing free and equitable access to information and resources. Unlike bookstores or Amazon, libraries are not pay to play. They are public institutions funded by and for the people. When a library board restricts available information on particular topics that they personally disagree with, or tells constituents to go to another library to find the materials they need, it abandons its duty to serve the full community. This is not leadership with a servant's heart. It is an act of exclusion. Not everyone has the financial means to buy books or the ability to travel to another county's library. The purpose of nonprofit public libraries is to serve these individuals. When personal beliefs are prioritized over public service, it sends a clear and harmful message that some members of the community are less worthy of access than others, and that you work for yourself and your interest, not the people. And make no mistake, your proposals are a slippery slope. Today it's one topic, tomorrow it could be an entire viewpoint, histories or identities erased from the public access. Book bans and the restricting of materials from the public are never just about a single title. They are about controlling what people can know, think, and discuss because certain people fear what they do not understand or need validation that their way of thinking is the right way. As humans, we are meant to support and love one another. We must reject this mindset. Why must we try to create a right and wrong way of thinking or living our lives? Why can we not embrace that lifestyles and viewpoints that differ from ours are just that, different, no better and no worse? We must reject this overreach and reaffirm our commitment to intellectual freedom, equal access, and the core responsibility to serve all residents, not just those who we agree with.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Jean Myers. I live in Gallatin. As a teacher of 30 years, I'm absolutely disgusted that adults would try to ban books from a public institution. I've already had to inventory my classroom library because people think that they know what's best for my students, apparently better than I do. I can tell you that in my many years of reading and being around books, I've never found a book that turns someone gay, just like I've never seen a book turn someone straight. You pretend to care about children, but only the ones that fit your mold. It's not your job to pass judgment on what's appropriate for children. That's the job of the parent or adult in their life. This is a slippery slope we're on, so I have only one thing to say: don't tread on us.
Dr. Emma Diaz. Dr. Emma Diaz.
Hi, I'm Dr. Emma Diaz. I work in mental health and I also co-own a small bookshop. I'm here today. I actually started my career in child psychology, and there are no credible research studies, peer-reviewed studies that were done appropriately that I've ever found that show that books with transgender information are harmful to kids. But there are endless studies showing that banning things and discriminating against LGBTQ youth lead to higher suicide rates, they lead to youth homelessness. Like, this is devastating for our youth. And it is so dangerous to start banning information based on what one person or a few people deem as harmful. When I was a little kid, I loved to read. You could find me all of the book fairs, all of the bookstores. Every week I would go get my Junie B. Jones book. Instead of a toy, that's what I would get. And my parents didn't have to worry about what the library had because they were watching what I read, right? I'm 35 years old. To this day, every week when I come over, my mom asks, "What are you reading, Emma?" And I talk to her about it. So we don't need to ban books. And if parents think their kids shouldn't be reading something, then they can ask them what they're reading. they can stop them from reading, right? It is so important that kids have access to books and people have access to books that talk about all walks of life, because that's how we build empathy. That is why I went into mental health, because I could imagine what it was like to be someone different, to live in a different way, right? And empathy is a bridge that connects us. It should not divide us. And as an owner of a bookstore, I can tell you books are expensive. I don't know if anyone's bought a book recently, but not everyone can afford to buy them, right? And so it's the library's job to keep folks having the ability to have access to these things. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Broadway. I live at 160 South Tunnel in Portland. Normally I have my two children here. One is disabled that you can physically see, and the other one is more on the spectrum where you're not going to notice it, right? The library is a public entity, not a religious one. Tax dollars go to funding these buildings, and as a taxpayer and as a member of the LGBTQIA community, as a person whose family looks different to the majority, our children deserve to see themselves or their friends' families represented in books. This idea that children are going to be influenced simply by picking up a book or even reading a book is my responsibility as the parent. My daughter picked up a book at the library a couple weeks ago, and it was a Christian-based one. As someone who went to a Bible college and believes in God, I still had her put it back. Why? Because not all books about Christian faith align with our beliefs. We simply put it back. We put it back. It wasn't hard. So if we have books about trans people, if we have books that, you know, a stroke of luck your child happens to come across, because I don't know if you've gone in the children's section and they're so squished together, it's a luck of a draw when you let your child choose the book they want to choose. We want to claim safety for our children as far as the books that they read, but last year in Sumner County, our school district decided that we needed to read the book, The Case of Winn-Dixie, and the topics that were covered in that book included a preacher who more or less neglected his underage daughter, ran around however she wanted to, not to mention a topic of her mother abandoning her, and also some alcoholic issues. So the concept of keeping our children safe is a little bit of a stretch, in my opinion, when as a county we're being taught to read this to our children. And we have a lot of children who may have parents who are like that can cause reoccurring trauma for them and different things like that by being forced to read a book. The other thing I want to bring up is the understanding about our literacy rates in Tennessee. Having books that can reach all levels of readers is really important.
Thank you.
Well, just so you know, only 78% of our state reads at an 8th grade level. 8th grade.
Thank you. Kristen Coleman.
It's Christine Coleman, 105 Turpentine Court, Gallatin, Tennessee. I'm up here as a straight woman, a wife, a mom of boys, a Christian and a patriot. Our government is supposed to be by all of us and for all of us. I honor the separation of church and state. However, I'm here today to stand up for the least of us. I'll let you sit down so you can listen to me. Okay. Or at least turn to the thanks. I appreciate it. I am here to stand for the least of us, the people that had little voices or not enough representation. Trans people are those people, one of the groups of those people. I'm requesting to pray as well, respectfully, not performatively, for you guys making these decisions. Dear Lord, forgive us for when we do not stand up for the least of us, as Christ asked of us. Have mercy on us. Let us not judge others. Leave the judgment to the Lord. Amen. I pray for you guys to make a good decision. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is, I have heard some people reference the phrase transgender ideology. I don't understand what that phrase means to you. Transgender people are not trying to recruit, they're trying to exist. Some of you have referenced negative experience kids have gone through as they're trying to figure out their whole identities, not just gender, which has happened throughout time. I've seen that as a physician, and studies show a higher suicide rate in the trans community when they're not supported or not seen.
Thank you so much.
Our libraries make them feel seen, and other groups feel seen. Thank you.
Brooklyn White.
We good? Can I start? You listening? Okay. My name is Brooklyn White. I live in Gallatin. You are well aware of my beliefs against this collection policy and the attempt to censor specific identities from our libraries. Are you good?
I'm listening.
Okay. It is hard to believe that the goal is actually the safety of children when the defense and ideals of this collection policy, explained by the chair, routinely come from the beliefs of a president who's on the list of child predators. If your concern is with protecting children from sexual exploitation, you should focus your energy elsewhere. This board is supposed to be focused on helping our libraries. This policy was struck down last session and is both a distraction and a violation of parliamentary procedure to bring it up again as new business with edits by the chair. If you want to revisit it again, it needs to go through policy and those need to be adopted, or the edits could be brought up by the board as amendments, but they can't just be added by the chair. That's not how parliamentary goes. We have 2 director positions that need to be filled with well-qualified candidates. Not ones that storm out during meetings, not one with no formal education or experience in library settings. The board has already rejected an unqualified candidate put forth at the discretion of the chair. Months later, we are still only seeing inexperienced candidates. I find it unbelievable and biased that only one potential candidate could be found and put forth for each position for a vote by the board tonight. I encourage the board to revisit the hiring policy that was passed in January if you are to revisit past votes by this board. Thank you.
Yep.
And Susan Theon.
Suzanne Bowen.
Suzanne.
It's okay. I get that all the time. I am here. Oh, Suzanne Thoen. I live in Gallatin, 1424 Carter Rock. I am here to say that I support the collection and development policy, including the pages that were revised and adopted in November 2024. I specifically appreciate that it abides by the policy for protecting children from harmful sexually explicit material in the library. Thank you. Our children deserve to be protected from all these things. I don't understand how people can say reading a book or seeing something does not impact children. They get impacted very, very quickly. And not all parents can constantly monitor their children. All of you go back and remember when you were 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You didn't tell your parents everything you were reading and they couldn't find it if they wanted to. Please protect the children. Adults can choose. You want to be transgender, that's your choice. We're not talking about that. This is protecting the children, and I want to be assured that the material is in a place where children cannot access other material that fits this description. Thank you very much.
Public tax dollars.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mine too.
Excuse me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so that concludes public comments. All right. So I wanted to start off by beginning this meeting. We are quiet and we ask others to be quiet while you're speaking. And we ask people to be quiet while we're doing our meeting. We do have the sheriff here. And if there is disruption, I will ask you to leave. So you have the right to be here, but you don't have the right to disrupt the meeting and to be disrespectful. So we're going to move forward, but I'm asking you very nicely and respectfully to please hold your comments and allow us to have a meeting. Thank you. Okay, so we're now on to the report of the chairman. All right, so this report, first of all, let me go turn off this mic real quick. You can leave now, sir. The gentleman right there in the black t-shirt, you can leave now. Thank you. Goodbye. Leave. Thank you. Goodbye, sir. I'm not joking this time. Goodbye.
Good God. I'll be back next time.
Okay. So I don't have a problem with clearing the room. All right, so the report of the chairman. I have thought long and hard about this report, and this report is going to be a lengthy report. Because as the chair of this library board, I have the ability and the authority to do a report. And one thing that I've found since being on the library board in November of 2022 is that there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of blatant lies, and a lot of people putting information out about the library board and what we do, how we get appointed, what happens on this library board. And it's, for the majority of the time, we've been silent about it. And the majority of the time, I've been silent about it. Well, I decided that today, I'm going to put in my report. So, as the chair of the library board, I got onto the board, well, I'm going to start off with this. I was appointed to the library board in November of 2022. I was supported by Commissioner Bergdorf, by Matt Shove, by Commissioner Hyde, by Commissioner Darrell Rogers, by Commissioner Don Schmidt, by Commissioner Terry Boyd, by basically a majority of commissioners. And I was actually friends with Beverly Hyde, who is the wife of Chairman Hyde. And we were told, and by the way, for most people think that I was appointed or asked to be on the board by Commissioner Mansfield. That's incorrect. I was actually approached twice by Commissioner Shove to be on the board. So most of the people that think that I'm a Jeremy Mansfield puppet know that he isn't even the one that asked me to be on the board. So, and most of those people that I actually just stated that supported me, honestly, were very close friends with Commissioner Mansfield as well. And probably owe it to him the fact that they even became commissioners. I was also friends with Commissioner Bergdorf. Her and I actually talked a lot. And she came to some of my events. So I knew Commissioner Bergdorf before she was on the library board. A lot of people say, oh my gosh, Joanna is not about diversity. She's a racist. I've been called a racist so many times. Well, you know what's crazy is that I'm married to a black man. My son-in-law is Mexican. My daughter-in-law is full Chinese. My mom has a Native American tribal card. I grew up very poor. And I definitely have diversity in my background and in my life. say that I'm a racist because I don't want sexually explicit materials in the library, and to say that I'm against interracial marriages, obviously there's a lot of misinformation going on, isn't there? You know, I love the libraries. I worked in a library in college, you know, the college that I paid for, and I had to pay off my school loans. My mom, who had a very minimal education, got her GED in a library. My mom was a single parent of 4. I grew up really poor. So to say that I don't have some diversity, or I was given a handout, or I don't know what it is to do anything, is ridiculous. So, one, lots of misinformation out there, but it's all just hate speech is what it is. But yet what I say is hate speech, pretty ridiculous. You know, a few other ridiculous comments is that a personnel committee of 2 people can't function. Our bylaws say that the committees shall be 3 to 5 people. Well, our bylaws of the library board say that it must be 11 people. Well, guess what? The commissioners just voted to make it 9. And a little birdie told me they're trying to make it 7 now. Wonder why they're trying to do that. Could it be because I'm up for reappointment in November? And they're tired of the backlash from the public? Because people like Eric Stockton and Mike Ray got almost 400 emails from the public in support of putting them on the library board. And yet, the only people that have been able to be put on the library board since Pam Teller and Mike Bryan are people that have been nominated by Commissioner Bergdorf. Now, people want to say transparency, and people want to say that Jeremy Mansfield is cherry-picking people. Well, he hasn't cherry-picked anybody. But what I can say is that the last 3 people that got on the library board did not go through committee on committee, were not put before the public, and were handpicked by 1 person. Now, a little bit of history on that that's pretty intense is that that person was handpicked by Chairman Hyde with a secret letter that was sent snail mail to committee members. And if it hadn't been for Commissioner Mansfield bringing that letter to light, nobody would have known that Commissioner Chairman Hyde recommended that Commissioner Bergdorf be on the board. All this after his wife resigned because we decided as a board to pass a policy that she didn't agree with. Now, I don't know. That doesn't sound like transparency, and that sure as heck sounds like one person's picking library board members. Now, mind you also, that in 2022, Commissioner Chairman Hyde stated publicly twice that he doesn't feel that anybody on a board should suggest or support someone else being on the same board, as it is a conflict of interest. Yet here we stand with 8 members, and 3 of them supported by a fellow board member. So I get back to the ridiculous comment that 2 people out of 3 can't have a board meeting, can't have a personnel committee meeting. 2 people is a quorum. And our bylaws say that there are supposed to be 11 people on the board. Well, when we had 7 people, we could still have a meeting, even though we didn't have 11. It's all about a quorum. So those people who are listening to people that make absolutely ridiculous comments like that, it should show that the person making that comment does not know how a board runs. Okay. I want to get to, really quickly, a budget meeting that happened on Monday. Budget committee meeting, where the Hendersonville Library was talked about going from TLC to Atrium for their catalog. And the fact that Mayor Clary of Hendersonville said that he would give $20,000 to help with this if we opened up the library an extra day. Now, what's crazy is that on that budget committee is also a fellow library board member. And as we know, the procedure for speaking for library business is to have a library board chair or to have the treasurer speak on behalf of the library. Yet in a meeting that neither myself nor the treasurer knew about, an interim director had a conversation with the budget committee about something they had absolutely no authority to have. They could not make the decision to switch the catalog service. That is a board decision. They also couldn't make a decision to open up the library an extra day. That too is a board decision. And I want to comment here really quickly is that Mayor Clary has been coming to us since 2023 about this. Two directors of Hendersonville have both said that there is no need to open up the library an extra day. The need is not there. Me as a board member, and I don't know if you guys have heard, I haven't received emails, a flood of emails about asking for the Hendersonville Library to be open an extra day. Also, in the last 2 years, the Hendersonville Library budget has been cut. And the previous director stated that a commissioner came up to her and accused her of stealing from the other libraries because she wanted extra money. Well, one thing that the public might not know is that the Hendersonville Library has one of the highest turnover rates because of pay for employees. I have fought for 2 years to get more money for the Hendersonville Library so that they can pay their employees more and so they can hire more employees. Yet we have Mayor Clary asking the county to fork up. He wants to give $20,000. Well, it's going to cost about $130,000 to open for one more day. And he wants to give $20,000? When honestly, Mayor Clary, to my knowledge, hasn't even been doing the maintenance that has been needed for the library in Hendersonville. That is a waste of money. And honestly, for our county budget committee to even entertain a conversation with an interim director about something that interim director had absolutely no authority to even have a conversation about shows a disrespect for the board. And as you all know, the library board in this county is the governing body. We make all of the policies. Our power comes from the state. The commissioners have no say-so over our policies unless they go against a resolution. The mayors have no say-so over our policies unless they go against an ordinance or a code. While I respect Mayor Clary, it is ridiculous for him to keep coming and going behind our backs and doing this. And to my knowledge, maybe I'm incorrect, I think that Hendersonville owes the county some money. So, really ridiculous, some of the stuff that has been happening over the last 2 years. One thing that some people might not know is that in November of 2023, the board actually voted to reduce the number of board members from 11 to 9. But when it went to the county commission, they said, absolutely not. We have to keep it at 11. Well, now they want to take it down, now they took it down to 9 and possibly going to move it down to 7. Could it be because there's been such an outpour of support for people to get onto the library board that are conservatives? And we're coming up into to primaries and into an election year? I don't know. Seems like a real coincidence. Since I've been the chair, a lot of people want to question Robert's rules and my parliamentary procedures. Yet I've been actually commended on using the Robert's rules. Because before I became chair, it was pretty crazy, and Robert's rules was not being followed. And so I made sure that when I became chair that was one thing that I wanted to make sure was done. Now, actually, I've been very lax because I've allowed people to say things without actually me giving them permission to have the floor. That's not me being a tyrant because it's Robert's rules. And that's what we follow. So when people say I'm a tyrant, no, I'm following parliamentary procedure. That's not me being a tyrant. That's me being a leader and a chair of a board. Let's all start where all this crazy dissension started, and that was the sexually explicit materials policy. I understand. I had full support from all commissioners until Beverly Hyde resigned. Now, even Commissioner Don Schmidt told me that as he was going around and door knocking for a school board candidate, that he heard all kinds of support for what we were doing. And just because people don't show up doesn't mean that we don't see the support that they give us. Now, I will say this, that the people who show up that are loud and in opposition to what we're doing, I commend them. Because they show up. Because they show up, they make a sacrifice to be here. I may not agree with them, but they're here. Where are the pastors of Sumner County? Where are the Christians? The conservative Christians that call me or say we're so sick and tired of these books being in our libraries. I'm sorry, but where are the pastors of Sumner County? You know, we put in a policy for sexually explicit materials. I know that in January and in March, there have been books that have been challenged in Portland and in Millersville. And we are in August, and those books still haven't been taken a look at. Those books we still have not received a report on them. Those books are still out. This is unprofessional. This is a lack of following policy. And this is something that is truly, truly wrong. Now, one thing that I want to know, and I want to be sure to say publicly as well, is that the library board only has the authority to hire and fire library directors. We have no authority to hire and fire library employees. Now, I got a threatening call from a Councilman Pascal in Gallatin when he was told that we were coming after his employees in the library. I assured him that we could not. But what I do want to know, and I do want to say, and I want to make sure publicly, is that library employees can absolutely come to the board and tell us what is going on with their directors. Because we have the authority to hire, fire, and discipline the library directors. When somebody got fired, when a lady by the name of Holly got fired from Millersville, and you might want to say that she quit, but no, because her paperwork says discharged, which is fired. She told me that she never knew she could come to the board with her complaints about her director. And the complaints was that there were transgenders going into the bathrooms in Millersville. So that I want to make sure that people know that the employees can come to the library board if there's a problem with their directors. A lot of people say that this library board is against the Friends because we're doing a fundraising policy, because there's a fundraising policy in place. No, we're not against the Friends. But what I do want to read here is that the ethical dozen for Friends of the Library. Friends conduct fundraising which complements the library's mission. Friends activities support the library board's long-range plans and policies. Friends decide how to spend their funds after conferring with the library director. We were simply trying to put in a fundraising policy, accountability to the Friends, that the money is used according to how the director wants and needs the funds to be used. We have not stopped fundraisers from being happening. All that has to happen is you just have to bring it to us and we have to approve it. Does everybody remember the Pride Christmas tree that was in Gallatin during a Friends fundraiser that caused all kinds of problems, and Representative William Lamberth and Mayor John Isabel ordered for it to be removed? Well, it has still been months, and I have sent an email to Gabby and to the president of the Friends, just simply asking their procedure. How do you vet these people? What's the procedure? How do you do this? I still haven't received an email back. We want the Friends to do fundraisers. We want to support the Friends. But we also want accountability, because something that people might not know is that when you go and do a book sale A lot of those books come from books that the taxpayers already paid for, and then they're doing a book sale, and then the taxpayers are paying for them again. To raise money for the Friends, that the Friends get to put in a private bank account, and then the director basically has to go and beg for the money. Now hold on a second. Sounds to me like the taxpayers just paid for those books twice. We just wanted some accountability. Hey, are you doing a fundraiser? What are you using it for? That's not being against Friends. That's a little accountability is what that is. And yet, false information out there is that we don't want to support the Friends. You know, another quick thing. Everybody says that I'm part of the SCCR. I'm not part of the SCCR. Just stop. You know what? As a library board, Matt Shove said, we're split 4-4. Well, if the commissioners take it down to 7, after my term is up, I guess you won't be split 4-4. And you know what? The people that are on my side haven't always voted with me because I'm going to tell you this. If I thought I had the votes, some of these directors would have been fired months ago. The unprofessionalism, the blatant disrespect for policies, and the lies is absolutely outrageous. And before I got on the board in 2022, none of the policies had been looked at since 2017. We're supposed to be reviewing them every 2 years. This board has done a lot in the community and done a lot of things that should have been done years ago. So, I have been blessed to be on this board. I was blessed to have Commissioner Bergdorf's endorsement in 2022. I was blessed to have a majority of commissioners in 2022. I know now, since Commissioner Hyde, and I think it was Commissioner Harrison, went to Representative Lamberth and Senator Farrell Hale with a resolution that became a law that now in the state of Tennessee you can remove board members without cause. All because they were mad at me. Pretty intense. Now, that's my opinion. But what I think it is, it's pretty amazing, is that I've done exactly what Commissioner Hyde, Commissioner Schoaf, and the other commissioners asked me to do, and that was to get the libraries back in order into a conservative viewpoint and to clean them up.
Oh my God, Mike.
So,
Please.
I think that it
I'll
is
show myself out.
pretty
I'm
insane.
doing myself a favor here. You're ranting.
So, want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to the board members that have served with me and have taken a stance, even when people are coming against us in droves. All right.
Madam Chair.
We're going to move on
Madam
to
Chair.
report special orders.
I'm sorry. I move to adjourn.
So we're moving on to special orders.
I second his motion.
Seconds the motion. Do I have all in favor say aye?
Aye.
Those opposed? Aye. It doesn't pass. Okay, moving on to special orders. Westmoreland candidates. All right. Angela Holmes is the Westmoreland candidate. I entertain a motion to open it for discussion. So moved by Erica. I guess we don't really have to open it for discussion. It's good to be both. But I can, Erica. Do I have a second? By Pam. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Any abstentions? All right. Motion passes. He didn't vote. It was open enough for discussion.
And then you said, I guess we have to vote.
I just said I don't know if we have to, but we have a second. We should comment.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay. All right, so Angela Holmes, she's up for Hendersonville Library Director, Westmoreland Director, and she has reached out to all of us, and you guys have had plenty of time to reach out to her. We are in need of a Westmoreland Director, so I am. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any concerns?
Yes.
You may have the floor.
Thank you.
Paul McGuire.
In the interest of brevity, I want to address my comments to both Mrs. Holmes, so if you could raise your hand, I think I see, and Mrs. Higdon. I did talk to you, Mrs. Higdon, and we had a nice conversation for about an hour. I'm sorry I haven't had a chance to reach out to you, Mrs. Holmes. I've spent the better part of a month thinking about this upcoming vote for both of you. And I looked at all the candidates. There were 12 total candidates for both libraries combined. There were an additional 3 for the Westmoreland position back in April, I think, that were rejected by the Personnel Committee. I never saw their resumes, so I don't know who they were, don't know anything that they're from. But of the 12 candidates that we had, 50% of those candidates had library experience and/or a master's in library information science.
Point of order really quickly. You did receive their resumes. I did send them to you.
The 3?
Yes, you did. There was one person that withdrew her name and you did not receive hers, but yes, you did.
Okay, I couldn't find their resumes in my email. So when I'm speaking specifically now to these most recent 12 that came through, there were 7 from Westmoreland, 5 from Hendersonville. We have librarians and there are librarians all over the state who have been great librarians without an alliance or without experience. I know that can happen. But I also know that libraries are going to change more in the next decade than they have in the last 2 centuries. And a core conviction that I have for the last 20 plus years that I've worked for arts and cultural organizations is that expertise and education in those subject matters matter very much. Because they are very format and genre specific. You know, a museum curator has to go through a process, a librarian has to go through a process, and ultimately, I came down to the belief, my belief, that library directors have to be librarians. And I'm not saying that if you were to get in, and if you do get in, I will support you 110%. But for my vote, I believe that we can find someone with library experience who's going to start at the 50-yard line rather than the 10 or the 20. This is not a knock on your professionalism or your experience. It is a core belief that I have, and I hope you understand. That's it.
Does anybody else have any comments? As I said before, we took away the library degrees and everything because you do not have to have a library degree to be a library director in the state of Tennessee. And a library director is someone who connects with the community, knows what's going on in the community, as management, and also is someone that has the qualifications that we as a board have decided what they are. And we as a board decided that you don't have to have a library degree. If that goes against state policy, state would have told us. So, anybody else have anything to say?
So I've talked on this many times at this point, but I just want to remind our board and even public that even Miss Jackie was a part of this process of talking with the different people and communicating, and we came together as personnel, the three of us. And I mean, it was even, she's even the one who suggested Angela specifically for Westmoreland. And so, I mean, to me, have the opinions of how you need to have your opinions, but Miss Jackie has been a librarian, she's worked in schools, she's done all this different stuff, she was on the library board for a long time. I found out recently, even longer than the 6 years, because she had taken somebody's term and completed it. And she is part of who endorsed these two. So I think that sometimes there can be a bias with my opinion. There can be a bias for Joanna's opinion. We happen to be two of the three that met individually with each of the people. But even Miss Jackie endorsed these two. And it is because of their work experiences, I should say, because they've had different experiences each. And because of their standing in the community, the amazing connections that they have with so many in the community. One has taught many. One is connected with a lot of the parents of all kinds of people. I mean, I'm not talking one-sided of anything. I'm talking a variety of people. And you know, Angela she's from Westmoreland. It's a very small town. They all know her. She has a 5-year plan. She shared that with us. I mean, each of them have the big picture of what would be very healthy for both of these libraries.
And it's sad for me that this keeps getting stalled and this keeps getting put off, and we have two directors that can be in place. So, I mean, I fully endorse, we're talking Angela specifically, but I fully endorse both, and I think that they're both wonderful.
Jackie only saw the resumes for the two people that were interviewed. She did not see all of them before the interview candidates were chosen.
And so, per the policy, the chair picks the people to be interviewed. A policy that was voted on and approved by the board. And lastly, even the president of the Friends group of Westmoreland supports Angela. And if we want to support our Friends groups, and we've had numerous people from Westmoreland write in and support Angela. So these people, if they're president of the Friends group and they're in that community and they're supporting Angela for something that is such a cornerstone in the community. And also, she's had 33 years of experience in the government. Us little here in Sumner County, we probably could learn a lot. So, again.
Just a real quick point of order. I was one that voted against that policy. I also am on record in at least 5 out of the
Point of order, Paul. Thank you, Paul. You do not have the floor. Okay. So we are gonna, any other discussion on Angela Holmes? No? Okay. All right, so I'll entertain a motion. Someone want to entertain a motion to approve Angela Holmes? So moved by Mike. Second by Erica. All in favor of Angela Holmes as the Westmoreland director, say aye. Raise your hands. Okay. And those opposed? All right. So it is 4-4, and the motion does not pass. Therefore, Westmoreland is out of a director still since January 31st. A sad day for Westmoreland. All right, Hendersonville Director candidate, Emily Higdon. Open it up for discussion. I guess you don't have to do a vote for discussion. All right. I personally think Emily Higdon is great. She too has received support from the Friends of the library. She even got Friends of the Library in Gallatin. So she too has a ton of support. I mean, we've received numerous emails for her. So if the library is supposed to support the community, and the community is speaking in favor, and she has the qualifications. Anybody else have a comment on Emily? I'm just curious, because the last comment, because I do believe that the last time with Angela, it was like, oh, we haven't had a chance to talk to her yet. Well, I don't think any of those people that said they didn't have a chance to talk to her other than Paul reached out to her. And then with Emily, I think the only person that reached out to her was Paul. So nobody's even talked to these people, even though they said, oh, we need time to talk to them. I mean, I personally think that's a disrespect to not even call her and then to vote. So Hendersonville is in dire need of a director. They need to hire people. The person that is in there cannot hire anybody. She's an operations manager. They are extremely short-staffed. I mean, they are a skeleton crew. So I'm going to ask you guys to put your biases aside, your political allegiance, and let's get someone in the Hendersonville Library tonight.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, this has nothing to do with any political bias I might have. This has to do with a core conviction. I wouldn't ask you to go against your core convictions. I never have. But I have been on record almost every single meeting we've had with my belief that libraries need librarians. And I've said that from the get-go. I'm not changing my mind on that.
And we've had libraries run by people that had no library experience in the past, and they've done amazing. So, okay, so entertain a motion for Emily Higdon for Hendersonville. So moved by Mike. Do I have a second? Second by Paul. All in favor say aye by raising their hands. Aye. All those opposed? Motion doesn't pass. So it looks like at this point in time, Hendersonville Library is being sent a message. So pretty bad.
That is
So please stop.
That is inappropriate.
Okay, old business donation. Oh, okay, I'm gonna call for a 2-minute recess because we have to be back here and done with 1:30. Okay, all right, 2-minute recess.
They would have had more time.
Call this to order. All right, back from recess. We're going to try to get through this stuff pretty quickly. I think that we can. All right, donation on the old business for the donation. I'll entertain a motion for this donation to go to Budget Committee so that Budget can figure out what to do with this donation and come up with a plan. And we really need a Hendersonville director, since it's going to be going to Hendersonville. But at least we can get it out of here and put it in the budget. So I'll entertain a motion to send donation to budget. So moved by Paul. Second by Mike. All in favor say aye. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd like to speak to that.
Oh, okay.
This is the.
Can you move the mic closer to yourself?
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
I thought that. I just have to be short in this chair. People, I have been involved in libraries for a long time. That makes me nothing special except a fat old man. But we've had people give money to libraries down through the years, and I've been involved in people who donated money to particular libraries. Now, if they're very inspecific, you can almost do anything you want to. But when they designate what that money is supposed to be for, I don't think 100% of the time that when a donation is made from a citizen to a particular branch of library, that it becomes any of the county commission's business to redirect that money anywhere.
They haven't.
Okay, and, but what I'm concerned about is, once you move that money from quote-unquote libraries into the Sumner County purview, commission purview, then...
Do you think it's the budget committee of county? No, it's our budget committee, the library's budget committee.
Okay.
Not the county commission.
Never mind.
Okay.
Now, see
So,
what,
I saw it after you were talking, and I was like, oh. Can you get your microphone? Thank you. Okay, all right, so Paul, second by Mike, all in favor, say aye. We're to the library budget committee. All in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. All right, so new business, collection and development policy. Yes, brought it back. Same thing from July. You know, there was 2 abstentions, and I thought, well, you know what? I'll bring it back in case they need more time to look at it, you know, more time to think on it. You know, one thing that I did forget to mention, and you know, many people think we don't have the authority to do this. We do. So I'm sure that you guys know this, that the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals has ruled that a public library that rejects books because of their viewpoint does not violate the First Amendment, okay? In a ruling 10-7 in the case involving a county public library in Texas, Little versus Llano County, the appeals court determined library decisions to accept or refuse books is government speech. All Llano County has done here is what libraries have been doing for 2 centuries, decide which books they want in their collections. The majority opinion said that it is what it means to be a library, to make judgments about which books are worth reading and which are not, which ideas belong on the shelves and which do not. Just a quick quote from what the judges wrote. First, plaintiffs cannot invoke a right to receive information to challenge a library's removal of books. Yes, Supreme Court precedent sometimes protects one's right to receive someone else's speech, but plaintiffs would transform that precedent into a brave new right to receive information from the government in the form of taxpayer-funded library books. The First Amendment acknowledges no such right. Second, the library's collection decisions are government speech and therefore not subject to a free speech challenge. Many precedents teach that someone engages in expressive activity by curating and presenting a collection of third-party speech. People do this all the time. Think of the editors of a poetry compilation choosing among poems, or a newspaper choosing which editorials to run, or a television station choosing which programs to air. So do governments. Think of a city museum selecting which paintings or sculptures to feature in an exhibit. Take a deep breath, everyone. No one is banning or burning books. If a disappointed patron can't find a book in a library, he can order it online, buy it from a bookstore, or borrow it from a friend. All Llano County has done here is what libraries have been doing for 2 centuries. Decide which books they want in their collections. That is what it means to be a library, to make judgments about which books are worth reading and which are not, which ideas belong on the shelves and which do not. If you doubt that, next time you visit the library, ask the librarian to direct you to the Holocaust denial section. That's kind of funny. So, again, this was just in May of 2025. We have full authority to decide what goes on the bookshelves and what doesn't. It is not going against the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects your right to speak, not where you speak and necessarily what you speak. It also doesn't protect you, so someone cannot go into a room, into a theater, and yell fire. You cannot go on an airplane and yell bomb. First Amendment does not protect everything. And it is the Comstock Law and all that have said that First Amendment is not necessarily protection of everything. And you can't go onto government property without a permit. So, again, Fifth Circuit Court appeals. So, what we're doing in this collection and development policy, and by the way, when you quote TCA code, you got to make sure that you quote the definitions. And the definitions of sex in anything in the state of Tennessee, if it says according to sex, it means your birth as a male or a female. And again, this policy takes out any references to the American Library Association, which Secretary of State Trey Hargett has said that we have no affiliation with. We have taken all references out of all of our policies concerning the American Library Association. And so the reason why Rutherford County is got into a fiasco is because their policies have ALA. We don't. So,
May I ask a question?
you may ask a question.
Does the county
Okay,
attorney...
hold on.
No, Mike. Does the county attorney have a written opinion provided to the library board on this issue?
The written opinion is that it is our call and we need to make the decision.
But he didn't make an opinion of whether or not it would stand. He didn't rule on the subject matter itself. He only ruled that it was in our purview and not the county commissioners.
Correct, because we have the full governing authority.
But he didn't make any recommendations up or down as to whether it would stand up in court. Well, it's shame on him if he didn't, if he was asked.
No, he doesn't have to be asked, and he doesn't have to say whether or not. He looked at the policy, and he would have told me if it went against legal.
He'll have to come with something more than what he's come with before I vote for him.
Then you have 2 months to go and ask him.
Okay.
And he has reviewed it.
Okay.
Okay, again, the library, the county law director, in everything, I'm sure you've seen, if you check your emails, I know you said that you don't use email. So,
I'm trying. And the computer is harassing match.
I know, it's amazing that you've been a county commissioner before in the library, and yet you don't use email.
I mean, some days and I don't know.
So yes, so it's, again, we have full authority. If it goes against state law, so if we pass this tonight, we send it to state, and if they say, oh, no, we can't accept that, then it comes back to us.
But our county attorney has not took a position on this issue. His only position is, yeah, if you want to do it, go ahead.
He would have told me if it was illegal or not.
You're assuming that.
But you know.
He's trying to keep hands
Do you want the county attorney to look over every single policy that we create?
It suits me just fine.
Then you need to take it to the county attorney then.
No, I don't have to say it to the county attorney. If something's before this body that's going to be presented as controversial, then some committee of this body surely should say to the county attorney, please read this, or we'll know whether it's legal or not.
And I went to the county attorney and I said, hey, tell me what's this, and he said, looks fine.
But he didn't tell you the issue looked fine.
You can't tell tell me whether something is going to get taken to court or not, because you have no idea.
That's right.
Exactly, so then why make a policy at all, for anything?
Why would the attorney not tell you if he was comfortable he could defend it? Yes, go ahead and I can defend it. Did you ask him?
I sent him the.
Somebody should have asked him.
I sent him the policy, here it is, tell me your thoughts. And he told me his thoughts, and I put those things in there.
He told you that we had the authority to do it. He didn't tell us whether it was legal or not, or whether he could defend it or not.
And yet, you've had 2 months and haven't asked.
Still go back.
Can you?
I'm sorry,
turn
I'm
your
gonna turn
mic?
this down.
Thank you.
I've made all my opinions on this. No, I think there are still outstanding legal questions. We can have differing legal opinions on it, but there's a lot of cases floating through the courts right now. Let them float. There's no reason to risk county taxpayer dollars on a lawsuit that would certainly come after this was filed. Because, I mean, I think a first-year legal student commit the 14th Amendment argument, but it's not here or there. I'm ready to call the question. Call the question.
Second. Do you have a second? Good. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Raise your hands if you're saying.
Call the question.
Calling the question. Okay, I need you to keep your hands raised if you're going to call the question. Thank you. To call the question to vote. Okay, so that's 5-3. Okay. All right.
Mike raises his hand.
Okay. All right, so the question is called. All right, so.
Thank you.
All right, so anybody else? All right. Again, Fifth Circuit Court gives us the authority. All right. So, all in favor of the collection development policy, say aye. Raise your hand, say aye. All opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, abstentions act like a no. Okay. Okay, book signing policy, I brought that back as well. Policy fails. Book signing policy for, again, we're trying to put together something. Go ahead.
I would make a motion to remove number 5 and number 7 in the book signing policy and vote to approve. Because I think the board doesn't need to be involved in this. I think the library directors can determine if a book is appropriate or not and follows existing policy. If you remove those, then the library directors can handle it. They send all the information to the board, but we don't have to have an actual vote and an actual meeting before the author can have a meeting. And it gives them full authority. So again, remove number 5, remove number 7. The board still gets the materials, still gets to see it, but there's no vote required, and the directors can make those calls. Yes.
Oh, hold on a second. Stop for a second. I need you to hit your button for me.
Oh, sorry, say again.
I'm just curious, Wi-Fi?
You asked why.
That sounded like Wi-Fi, I'm sorry. Why number 5?
I said 5 because the director should be able to tell if a book is violating the library policy. I've also said at board meetings that there may occasionally be a book that is by grown-ups for grown-ups that might have one little sentence that's not going to be read in public at the book signing, but that technically might be, you wouldn't want it in the children's section, but it's fine in the adult fiction section. But we're not going to have anything inappropriate happening in the library, but if an author signed this.
Paul, can you come closer to the mic?
Sorry, if an author signed this, and there was a sentence that had a word, a single word, that was technically in violation of that policy. Even if it had nothing to do with the program, they couldn't have a sign. And I think that is a bridge too far. And I think people with common sense and discernment can say, okay, this book it's going to be fine to have a sign. They're not going to stand at a microphone and read the one word, in front where people can hear it. I just think that the directors can make these decisions. The board will be informed of all of it, but we don't have to vote and make it overly bureaucratic because clearly we have a plan of that.
Any more discussion? All right, so do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Tracy.
I'll second Paul's motion.
Okay, so Tracy second Paul's motion, and that is to take out 5 and 7, and then put it for a vote, correct, Paul?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Who's aye? Okay. All those opposed? Oops, no. All right, so that is 5 yes and 3 no's. All right, so the policy passes, taking out 5 and 7. Okay. Okay, meeting times and dates for 2025, 2026. Right now, it is the second Wednesday of every month at 3:30 p.m. Every month except for June and December. I'm going to ask permission to have September move to the third Wednesday. My husband and I are celebrating our 20th anniversary. And the only time, because of his schedule and my schedule, that we could actually do anything was the week, that second week. So I'm just asking for permission to put it for the second week of September, and then the rest of them, the third week of September, and then the rest of them would be the second.
So move it from September 10th to September 17th?
Yes.
That's what you're asking?
Yes, so it's from September 10th to September 17th.
Second.
Shannon, do you have?
Yeah, since there is trustee training on September 10th, and 2 of us have signed up for it, and I'm signing up for it, that is fine that we're not having the meeting that day. But can we just cancel our September meeting and do it in October? Because we'll have an all-day on the 10th in Brentwood. That would be my motion, to cancel September and just meet again in October. October, the second Tuesday in October, the normal.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be my motion. So I'm going to motion to do that.
The only concern is that September is a busy month before we have to get some director things done, so just, evaluations done, so. That's just just letting you know that.
Is there a
So
deadline?
There's fine, there's no deadline, we decide, the board decides
Actually,
deadlines for directors.
well, it's actually 30 days before and after, but, okay.
Well,
Is
there
there
you go.
Evaluations, then we have to look at the evaluations, correct. So, okay. So that means we would not have another meeting until October.
Yes.
October 8th, correct? Second
Yes.
Wednesday?
Okay, a second by Larry. Oh, you withdraw your second.
To the previous.
Oh.
I made a second previous motion. I withdraw.
Oh, okay. Okay, so right now well, first of all, we have to do the motion to September 17th because,
I withdrew the second.
okay, so motion by Tracy, so withdraw your second, so then there's,
Yeah, withdraw my second. She
Let's start fresh.
Let's go.
okay.
So the motion is to just cancel the September meeting.
Yeah.
So you withdraw that motion?
That's the motion.
Okay. So then the motion cancel September. Do I have a second? By Tracy. Okay. All in favor say aye of canceling September. Aye. Those opposed? Aye. Okay, any abstentions? I don't know how you guys voted. Did you guys vote? Did you not vote? Okay. All right, so motion passes. Okay, so
Yeah, we can go for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks.
So, all right, so then the calendar will be the second Wednesday of every month except for September for 2025 to 2026. Correct? Okay. Committees?
Does that include December?
No, we're not in June and December.
I thought you was making sure.
Yeah, there's nothing in June and December. Okay. So,
Madam Chair, for a bit of information, this meeting wasn't scheduled
can you?
I'm getting practice at it. This meeting wasn't scheduled on the county website.
Yes, it was. It was publicly noticed.
It wasn't on the calendar. It didn't have any meeting for this month.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
There is a county there's a calendar that they print every month on the website. And that's what he's referring to. It's a square day calendar. So
I didn't know that it wasn't on
So
there.
I guess IT takes care of that. So you would need to call IT and have them put all of our library new dates. So the mayor's office takes care. So since we had always done January, March, every other month. So I'm sure that was just missed and I don't know if it's the mayor's office that takes care of that, or if it's IT, but I think it's IT.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry, Larry, I misunderstood you because I was like, I know it was publicly noticed. So, okay. All right, and then committees. So what I thought was, instead of doing this tonight, because we can, if you guys want to email me what committees you want to be on, and then we can get everybody on the committees in the next library board meeting. We can get those going. They're supposed to start in September, but they'll have to start in October. So that just means that just continue until October. What are your thoughts on that? So just email me what committees you want to be on, and then we'll get them done in October. Granting that motion? Yeah. So moved by Erica, second by Mike. All in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. And then the Westmoreland fundraiser. I can pull it up. And I do apologize. I normally catch these things, but obviously I didn't catch it, and I'm not sure why I didn't catch it. So,
and I think the reason why it was kind of generic, but mentioning the end and beginning, end of September, beginning of October, is because it says on there it states it's a 2-week thing. So I think it's just the end of September and and then the beginning of October. So those dates should go across those 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
I'll second that.
Second by Shannon. All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Anybody against nay? Any abstentions? Okay. Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Now on to treasurer's report.
I don't have anything new to report this month.
Okay, all right. Personnel report. We're gonna have to figure this out with the directors. Facilities report. Kaylee,
May I speak to the personnel report? We have no personnel report.
no, because I'm the chair of the personnel committee and I do the board report.
So as a board member, I don't want to speak to you not having a report, I would like to ask, since it is about personnel, could we have, give permission to, Gabby and Amy to go one day a week to the Hendersonville Library to help them in their management? I would like to discuss that.
But that's not a personnel report, that's actually a motion that has to be put on there, because that's not a personnel report. If we want to do a special call meeting for that, we can do a special call meeting for that, but that's not a personnel report.
Okay, so Madam Chairman of Personnel, I would like that if we had a special call meeting, it could be after 3:30 on a weekday and not on a Friday. That would be my request. Thank you.
Okay.
Ma'am, if we make a motion to suspend the rules to deal with this, and it passes unanimous, could we not go ahead and deal with this instead of putting somebody in a position to have to come to another meeting?
Well, so if you wanted to have this added to the agenda, it should have been put on the agenda.
No question about that. No
So
question.
at this point in time, we can't add something to the agenda that the public can't even comment on.
But we can deal with an issue that's before us if we suspend the rules. It may be a little immoral, but it's not illegal.
Immoral, but not illegal.
Or unethical, but not illegal. How's that?
Because I don't want to go against ethics.
Okay. If y'all want to have another meeting, I don't care. But you can't vote to suspend the rules, right?
It's not about voting to suspend the rules, it's that we didn't put it on we didn't put it on the agenda to even have a discussion about it. We don't even have a plan for it.
And the rules say that you should have everything on the agenda that we're going to discuss. And I'm making a motion to suspend those rules in this one particular situation to deal with this issue.
No, this is personnel, we're
Okay.
going to have a special.
Sure, go on.
Okay, director's reports. Gabby?
Do I need to turn this on, or is it already on?
Yeah, you can turn it on for me. Do you see the button? Yes.
Is that on?
Yep. Larry eats this little microphone.
Okay, July was the last month of our summer reading, and it was absolutely insane. We had one of our programs on Tuesday mornings, we already filled it up beyond codes, so we had to break it up into 2 classes, and we had over 100 people at each one every single week during July. And that's our Shake, Rattle, and Grow, where it's toddlers. So it's the entire library is taken over that day, and it's just fantastic. I can hear them laughing from my office, and it just makes my heart happy. We also got the opportunity, our mobile library van got to go to the Nashville Sounds game and have our van set up there for their literacy night, and we saw, a couple thousand people, and we got to share our calendars and tell them to, go out and support all your local libraries. So we were pretty proud to get invited to that. Let's see. We also started a new baby program this summer that we have decided to keep going, and we're calling it Stay and Play. And it's more for socialization for moms and dads and other guardians. We have all the baby toys, STEM toys. It's really a social club for parents and stay-at-home moms who just need to talk. The babies sleep, play, eat through the whole thing, but really it's for the parents. And I think it's a group that we were really missing, and they've been really appreciative of that. And we tried it every other week this summer, and people showed up immediately, so we're going to move that to every week going forward. And we also, let's see, everybody knows that our theme for this summer was art and crafts, and reading brings color to everything, and so it was one of my favorite themes that we've ever had before, because I like being creative. But we had, I think I told y'all at the last meeting, we had teachers come from Sumner County every single Thursday afternoon to teach an art class, and we had between 30 and 50 kids, not even counting their parents, show up for these art classes that the teachers volunteered to teach. And so we were just, it was a relationship with the schools that we've been trying to develop for a long time, and it was the most success we've ever had. And then our big Friday events are what we do. The biggest go all in for summer reading, but we had two of the messiest crafts that we have ever done at the library, and it was terrifying, and we had never done anything like it. And Cecilia even called us out on it because we did hundreds of tie-dyed items. I still think I have ink under my thumb, but it was really worth it. The kids have been coming in the rest of the summer to let us see the t-shirts, and they were so proud of their work, and we got to be a part of that. And then we did the whole reduce, reuse, recycle thing, and we had a Mestival event, and we're trademarking that, so nobody can use that name. We put out every craft item that has ever been donated to the library, all the leftover supplies from all of our other events through the summer, and we just let everybody, kids, adults, have complete free time to make whatever they wanted to. And we were kicking people out. Like, we had to have other programs in that room later in the day, but people didn't want to leave. And it was very little work for us, and we just got to sit back and enjoy watching them use their imaginations and have free play, and it was pretty cool. So really, July was just wrapping up summer, and that's all I wanted to brag about. So, okay.
Awesome, thank you so much. Henderson Middle doesn't have a director, and Rachel sent stuff in an email. Westmoreland, our amazing interim director, Phyllis, couldn't make it tonight, and so then we are going to go on to Millersville, right? Millersville.
July's been really busy for us. We had 206 people register for our summer reading program, and that's the most that's ever registered for the summer reading program at Millersville. It's very, very exciting. Y'all know I love graphs, so I did lots of visualizations. We had 28 programs that we offered this summer. We had 925 attendants. That's beautiful. That's awesome. Yeah. It was a big year for us because we just celebrated our 10th anniversary. Mike, thank you so much for making time to come and celebrate with us. It was so great that you were able to come, and I mentioned earlier that you have to bring cookies every time now. They're so good. It's all the graphs just show we're just going up and up and up and up and up and up. Just despite the rising costs, we remained on our budget. We completed our key projects like the new office I have, so I'm not taking over a study space. And we continue to grow ways that reflect the evolving needs of our community. So for the fiscal year 24-25 budget, we used 98% of our budget. And I made an annual report, so many pages long, I didn't print it, but there's a QR code, and it'll take you to a webpage that has our annual report that really goes over everything that we've done for the year. We celebrated our 10th anniversary. Ginger, the first director at the library, came. And so that was really wonderful. Mayor John Isbell came, Mayor Atwood from Millersville came, we had Representative Greer came. It was just a really fantastic time. Let's You know, I like visual aids. So I made a lot of graphs, and the graphs for the library statistics is just for July. And I just wanted to show the growth that we have done without a budgeted increase. We got one this year, so it's really exciting. Thank you so much for allowing us to have our full-time clerk position. I might be able to take a day off. I'm really excited. Everything is going up. We have some programs planned to start in September. We're all still just recovering from summer reading. Our children's librarian made a little caricatures of us, so you kind of know who we are. And then something that I'm just, not feelings, that I am just so tremendously excited about. We had an opportunity to have the Millersville Elementary School teachers come to our library because they were going to have their give back day for the community, and they chose us. And I really tricked them. I'm tricky like that. We had 4 groups. One group came and helped with our community garden. One group came, looked at our juvenile and children's books to let us know what books we needed to better support the curriculum and the topics that they're doing every 6 weeks. We had another group look at our library of things to tell us what type of extracurricular, like manipulatives, that would be good for us to have for children going into kindergarten and other things that would help support the curriculum at the school. They were there for hours. And then I was able to meet with the principal and some more of the office staff to talk about how we can support them. I now have an open invitation to come to their teacher meeting. Yes, thank you. Once a month, we're going to be at the open house. They said, this has been something that we've been working for since I started, to have this community partnership, and it's something I've been working really hard for, and I'm so excited that we get to do this, that we get to better serve our community. We're going to go up and help their new librarian shelve and just show our community what we have. It's just the best. And we have, for the past couple of years, partnered with the city of Millersville. They allow us to use their community space since fire code is a thing. And we wouldn't be able to hold those people in our library. And so that has just been amazing. And the support that we have from our community is outstanding. If you get a chance to come by the library this month, we have a bulletin board up about why you love the library. And you can see all the fun things that the kids have written. I certainly didn't put Miss Valerie's cookies, but they're on there a couple times. And so are Kenny and Lisa, our children's librarians. And on the last page is just our August calendar. Thank you.
Thank you. She loves statistics. I like it. I like this process.
All right, last one. Yes, let's try to say. I don't have much. August is kind of a little slow after the whole July thing. We kind of end up going, we did end with a phone party again this year. We had 117 people come to the phone party. So that's always a blast and everything. It's one of our fire departments comes and does that for us and everything. Our other big event that we had earlier in the year was making your own ice cream. It's a DIY ice cream thing. It's like shake it up, it's like, so that one had like over about 100 people come to that one also. I've been told by our children's librarian that our story time area is starting to get full. So possible building, hopefully sometime in the future, near future, whatever, not yet, but sometime in the near future. All of summer reading, our story times are done in our community room, so we're good there. But she's starting to have more and more people come to our regulars throughout the rest of the year and everything. I have the unofficial budget for the year is in there from finance and everything. We haven't gotten the official notice from finance that this is what it is, but I just went ahead and printed it out, and it looks like we were right at 98% for our budget for last year. Awesome. All right. Any questions? Anybody? We're good?
Awesome.
I'll move it on.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah, so I sent you the report, I think it was yesterday morning, so I'll go through it quickly. I think I added names for again, I think we talked about this the last time, just to make sure that the budget committee and the board goes through all the numbers before it goes to the mayors. There's some say make sure that that is being done, but you have until the end of October to get that done, so I think you have some time. You're on schedule, I think. I did attach a document that we call support ranking that compares income per capita per county and funding for libraries per capita per county. So that's kind of an interesting document. It takes a little bit of time to go through it, but you might want to have a look at that. And if you have any questions about it, just get in touch and we can talk more about it. It comes out every year, and I think Sumner is doing quite well on the ranking. But it's an interesting document to have a quick look at. We did meet with Tracy for a trustee orientation this last week, and we really enjoyed getting to know her and go through all the stuff that we talk about. When you come on as a new board member, there are some things that we think you need to know. So we talked about standards, the best practices of how you act on the board. We talked a little bit about the Tennessee Public Library law. We talked about the standards. We talked about a lot of things. It took us about an hour and a half, I think, to go through it, but it was fun. And we're meeting with Larry very soon, if you can respond to my email. We also just gave I think it was Gabby and Phyllis, they had 4 staff members that completed the core competencies, which is a state-run training covering the basics of what you need to know if you work in the library. It's a great onboarding tool, and it's 28 modules, so it takes a while, so it's a big deal when you complete it. And then we have some trainings coming up. We actually had a library director check-in yesterday where the directors came on. We have 14 directors we work with, and we talked about a bunch of different things, but your directors are always very active in those meetings and share, and there's great representatives of Sumner County. And then next week, we are having a roundtable for the library board chairs. So again, we'll get you guys together on the Teams meeting for an hour, and usually what we do when we meet in August is that we talk about, how to run a board meeting and how you prepare for a meeting and how you meet with the board, with the library directors before the meeting to kind of set the agenda and that kind of stuff. So we'll do that again on Monday, I guess it's Monday or Tuesday. And then we have a training on Tuesday, which is program for oral ages. That's our first in-service of the year, and I think it's a 5-hour training, and I'm not sure who has signed up for it yet, but I'm sure quite a bit. And then I think Shannon talked about it earlier, but we have a trustee workshop coming up on September 10th, and then usually we have a good crowd from Sumner show up for that, and that's all day training for trustees, Middle Tennessee representatives coming to that, so we look forward to it. It will be library advocacy. And then for the library directors, we have a public library survey open lab happening in September, and that is for a federal survey they have to complete by the end of September. So I think that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Cecilia, and we hope that Caitlin feels better very quickly.